This is very exciting. Britta's in the waiting room. Hello, everybody. You know who I am, but I'm not important in this equation. I'd like to introduce you all the way from Camarillo, California, Britta Kaye. Hello there.
What are you doing?
Well, you have an actual library in your home, and all I have is these memories of going to Galco's Soda Pop Stop.
I see that. That's a choice. That's a choice that was made.
Thank you for taking my own agency out of it. A choice was made. You know, so many times we talk about binaries
Yes.
and how binaries don't actually exist and they're a construct. But the only thing that I can truly say is really a binary is that no one feels halfway about Moxie. They either like it or they hate it.
We're across from the outlets, which gives me a lot of cachet with certain people. Not including me.
It's difficult to not have cachet with yourself.
Right?
I think of so many weekend seminars that you could conduct at the Marriott, and maybe getting cachet with yourself can be one of them.
I'm really excited about the specificity of the Marriott. I'm going to on that part and be like, I'm only good enough for the Marriott?
Oh!
I do not have cachet with myself.
Well, listen, I self-identify as trash, and so for the Marriott is very classy for me.
You know, I mean, I'm not actually opposed to the Marriott. I was just like, you know. Have you perchance seen Toy Story 4? There is a character named Forky that's made out of a spork, and he did not anticipate becoming a toy, and so his first words are trash. Over, and he just wants to go back to the trash. He belongs. You really need to see it. It's great.
Well, speaking of trash, then I will try to appropriate somebody's Disney Plus password.
Oh yes, please do.
The memory is fleeting at this point, but we used to hold the hoots, and perhaps we will again in the beautiful, acoustically nifty sanctuary at the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Verdugo Hills in mysterious La Crescenta. And you played their Baby Grand several times, and it sounded like, you know, a glorious thunderstorm.
Yes, I do like that description.
And now you're sheltering at home. Maybe how far north of Los Angeles is Camarillo?
Probably about 50 miles or so. The intention was to actually be here temporarily and tour this year, and we all know how that went.
And yet, you'll agree that we haven't scripted this. Many people have gotten to know that studio/library that you're in via your quarantine concerts.
Yes, indeed, and it is serious.
Look at that. Those books are so beautiful. Well, I love watching your quarantine concerts, and the thing that always strikes me when I see them, well, in addition to the books, which I think are, you know, they lend something to the music. You play with such gusto that I wonder about whatever sort of structure is holding up your iPad or your laptop or whatever you're using to film it. And
you're going to ask me that actually.
Okay.
Prepare yourself, because
All
you
right.
may not understand what you're looking at. These are pieces of my dad's hymnal and theological dictionary library. That is how I determine the level at which my laptop sits.
And so you're not propping up your laptop with like thin volumes of poetry.
No, those are mine, and those are upstairs.
Do you have a personal timeline of when you might go mad? Like, if certain conditions exist, you will go mad, and is time running out?
Okay, number one, I feel like you're asking that question for personal reasons. I feel like there's a little projection happening. Am I wrong? So, strangely enough, for somebody, I love to travel. I mean, I really, really was looking forward to being in my van for months. And my mother and I were actually hoping to go to Europe later this year. And I was going to look into staying longer with friends and maybe even playing over there. Like, this was my hope and my plan this year. And something in me kind of knew that it wasn't going to work out. Like, I kept trying to do it, and there was something weird about it. And then lo and behold, the virus happens, and it's like my psyche clicked into, right, so we're going to be doing this for a while. So strangely enough, normally I would be going nuts in suburban anywhere. And I'm actually pretty happy. I've been able to focus on some creative stuff and some personal stuff and kind of recalibrate. And so I strangely don't have a timeline. Every once in a while I have a moment where I'm just sad that I'm not out. I am also an extrovert. I miss people. And I actually, the hardest part is not being able to play for people in person. I think that
Yes.
almost everything else in my life, I'm okay. Like, I'm Zooming people all over the world that I haven't talked to in ages. In a way, it's been kind of interesting. But I do love physical interaction, and musically, there's no substitute. So I'm very happy to play for you guys today. And I do online streaming even non-pandemic, but it's just been a little hard some days. That's why my last concert, you came and you were quite vocal, along with all of my other friends were very vocal, and that made me feel a lot better. When
Yes.
people really engage and, it's like we're actually hanging out, then I feel a little better.
Now, do
But
you feel the streaming performance is of a nature that you know how we say the medium is the message? Well, we don't say it. The Queen and I don't say it, but
Fluin said it, but yes.
yeah, that guy. But have you found that the way you perform and the meat of what you are performing is a reflection of the medium?
Huh. That's an interesting question. I think something in me stubbornly tries to cling to the idea that I'm playing live. Because technically I am. I'll do it on Facebook, I'll do it on Instagram. I just started using Instagram for streaming, which is actually kind of fun, but they limit you to an hour, whereas Facebook, I think, limits you to 16 hours or something. So, but yeah, it is interesting because I am so interactive in person that I will have people just yell out requests, or I'll see if there are requests. It's not that different. It just, yeah, I don't think the content is different. It feels like I have to push more, that I don't get that feeling of someone giving back to me in person. I'm a busker by heart. I had a friend send me something years ago, and it came up on my Facebook memories the other day. There's a Venn diagram. There was something like rampant narcissism and crippling self-doubt, and in the middle was artistic practice. And that has been my experience lately, pandemic and before it. It's sort of like, maybe I should never make anything again. What could I do instead? And I think that second question is so depressing that I keep coming back.
When you're doing a Zoom concert, um, are you aware of the piano and your iPad and your dad's, thick tomes of theology? Are you aware of those as an impediment?
I think that sometimes having to make very singular eye contact is the biggest impediment. Because if you have an audience, even if it's a few people, they're usually a little broader. And that's my normal visual path anyway. I don't tend to stare straight ahead very. So it has been more distracting to only do that.
Yeah.
If you're live streaming a concert and there's people, you can sometimes look here, you can sometimes look over here, and it's clear to people online that you're at least interacting with people. So it's not quite so weird. Here, it's sort of like, hi. I lived at the brewery, which we talked about the other day, you and I, which is the largest artist community in North America. It's in Lincoln Heights, kind of Chinatown adjacent. I lived there for 5 years, and the last year or so I lived there, I played outdoor concerts all the time. And I first played them in my front yard, and then I played them. There's a little park in the middle of the brewery with this beautiful red, I'm trying to think of the right term, gazebo, basically. Like, it's almost a metal gazebo. And somebody has hung Christmas, big sort of old style Christmas lights. And so I have a friend who lives in the building next to the park, and he let me plug in my keyboard and the lights. And so I would play these nighttime outdoor concerts, and people would just show up. And they could be 360 around me. They were usually kind of in a half circle. And it was just really magical. And I miss that. And I miss being able to see people kind of come and go. And then you also see people that just kind of stumble across it. And it just kind of lights them up. I remember one night playing for this couple's 10th anniversary because they happened to be eating at the restaurant on site and heard me and came over, and they danced to a bunch of love songs. And that kind of stuff is what I do this for.
What are you playing today?
I am playing Let's Run Away and Join the Circus. I wonder what that's about.
Fantastic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, human beings of every type, it is our pleasure to present you Britta Kaye.
Indeed. Let's run away and join the circus. Let's run away and join the circus, where nobody and nothing could police us. Oh, let's run away and join the circus. Let's run away and join the circus. Let's run away and join the circus, where nobody and nothing could police us. Oh, let's run away and join the circus. We'll be the
addition to the glorious nature of the song itself, one of the cool things about the video is that there's some motion shake on it.
Yes.
Because it's like you're mightily withstanding an earthquake, and you just need to get this song out.
I may need to get this thing tuned and or worked on soon, because I do tend to.
Yeah.
I'm known for it. I'm known for it vocally and on piano. First time I ever recorded in a studio was on a friend's album right after college, I think, and I'd been waiting all day for my turn to get in the booth. And so I get in there and I start warming up, and I look out the glass and they're laughing at me. And I push the button. I'm like, why are you laughing? And they're going, we can hear you. Oh. All right.
Well, Britta, that was lovely. I can't wait to put this up. I will. It'll be the first full-length interview on the Verdugo HUUT website, and then I will shorten little bits of it, because otherwise it'll be the Verdugo HUUT Britta Kaye edition. And
which I'm not mad at the idea, but it's not my hoot. So I really, really hope that when you edit this together, you make me say terrible things that I didn't actually say. That would be great.
Hi everybody, my name's Britta Kaye. I really love Lord of the Rings. It's way better than Star Wars. Woo!
Slice and dice it and be like, wow, Britta's a terrible person.
I will bring in neighborhood children to just say horrible things in your voice.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah. Thank you again.
Thank you, and I really miss you guys over at Verdugo. Hi to everybody. I hope you're all well and safe and as happy as possible in this time. So.
And we can't wait to see you in person. All right.
All right. Bye.